Hi, Mark from Whole Latte Love. We've got Morgan behind the camera today.
Hey, coffee lovers.
Now, today we're going to take a look at two super automatic espresso machines. They're at the lower end of the price range, but very easy to operate, very similar in their operation. And when we're talking super automatic espresso machines, we mean machines that go from bean to cup. So we have the Gaggia Brera and the Saeco Pure. So both machines allow you to program two different coffees. You can do an espresso or a longer coffee here, and you can program how much you want. On the Pure, you've got similar, but the buttons are up top and a nice green color. But a little difference in the size in these. So you think about your counter space, about 10 inches wide on the Brera, about 8.5 on the Saeco Pure. You'll also notice some difference in the spout sizes here. That is the clearance under the spouts. So on the Brera, you've got about 4.5 inches. It does extend down for shorter espresso cups. And on the Pure, we're at 6 inches. So if you want to leave the house with a travel mug full of coffee, no problem on the Pure. And again, you can extend those down closer to a standard espresso cup. Now, both machines, some other similarities. They both use an auto-frothing wand for working with milk for your lattes and cappuccinos. And both out of those wands, you can also get hot water for things like tea or oatmeal or hot chocolate. So let's take a look up top. We'll start over at the Brera. It does have a little surface up here that's passively heated if you want to keep some cups up there to keep them warm. It's always a good idea. Behind that is where the beans go. And so the beans in here, you have an adjustable grinder here with 5 grind settings. And then also, you have a bypass toaster. Now that's for using pre-ground coffee. So if you wanted a decaf or another different coffee that's pre-ground, you just dump it in there. Going over to the Pure, a little different up top here. On one side, a door opens and we have the water reservoir, which is about 60 ounces, Morgan?
Yep, that's correct.
It can take a water filter here.
You can use a maybe Intenza water filter.
So you can fill that right at the machine, if you've got a hose from the sink. That's what I like to do. Or you can take that out and take it to the sink and do it. Now on the other side, it looks like we have a bypass toaster, same sort of look as we had on the Brera, but that's actually just a vent. The Saeco Pure does not have a bypass toaster, so you can only use beans.
Whole beans, yeah.
It does have an adjustable grinder, and a little different. Doesn't have a knob like the Brera. You use this little tool here to get in, and you turn this, and you've got 5 grind settings there.
So they both have 5 grind settings.
Yep. So let's see, we got the spout size. Let's take a look at the drip trays on these. On the Brera, they both slide out the front. As long as you put the spouts up and move the wand out of the way. They both slide out the front like this, and they're both, kind of similar. Oh, but there's a little something extra in the Pures. That's the drag box. That's where the used coffee pucks go. It holds
15.
15. So this you'd take out and dump, and you'd also dump any water. So any water that ends up in the drip tray will flow back in here. A little water comes out inside the machine as well. Same thing on the Brera, so you just empty this every once in a while. They both have little pop-up indicators to let you know when they're full. The drag box for the Brera is over on the side here.
It's a little smaller. That holds 8.
8. And then the water reservoir is over on the other side. And again, that can use a water filter. And this is just a little smaller than on the Pure as well.
That's right.
About 40 ounces.
But it's nice that those are both accessible from the front, so you don't need the clearance up top.
Yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind with the Pure, depending on how high your overhanging cabinetry is. When you open these up to get at things here, you're gonna need. We're just at about 17 inches with that door open, and you won't have that problem at all on the Brera. So let's do an espresso shot on each. We've already programmed these, and just so you can hear the machines. I'm going to run them at the same time, so it's very simple and easy. Just press the buttons, so you can hear the grinders running. Now we'll froth in a minute. While it's making the espresso here, just talk about these wands or auto-frothing wands, so they automatically inject air into the milk. Now both have an air intake area here, and once you've got the amount of froth that you want, if you cover that up, you'll just continue to heat the milk and you won't over froth it. For you getting hot water, it's these two buttons over here on the Pure, or steam is up top. Oh, let me get that cup in the right spot. And then on the Brera, it uses a knob to access hot water to the right or steam to the left.
Okay. So both machines produce the shot of espresso
at
the same time.
Now, another difference, well, I think we may have mentioned, but just one more time, something to be very clear on, you cannot adjust the strength of the coffee on the Pure. On the Brera, you can using the button right here, and you'd switch over. That's also where you'd access your bypass doser. And if you want it not quite so strong, 1 bean, and then go up to 3 beans for really strong. So let's take a little break. We'll come back and we'll show you how the machines froth.
Okay.
So Morgan, let's make you a latte.
Oh, I would love a latte.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we'll make our shot on the Saeco Pure. We'll froth on the Gaggia Brera. I don't know if we mentioned, but for programming, now I've already got my shot programmed, but if you want to program amounts on either of the two machines, all you do is press and hold the button you want to program, let the coffee come out. Once you have the amount you want, press again, and that amount will be programmed. So let's get our shot going over here. And we're going to froth on the Brera. To do that, I'm going to turn over to the steam side. First, I'm going to purge my wand of any water that's in there. So just when it's making steam. So that's good. So now I've got a 12-ounce pitcher here. I'm filling it to just below where the spout starts to separate from the pitcher. And we'll turn our steam on. And it's automatically injecting the air for us.
So these Canarella wands or auto-frothing wands really take a lot of the skill out of getting a nice quality, milk froth, as opposed to some of the other steam wands on high-end prosumer machines. And
yeah, it does the work for you.
Yeah.
So we're just going to let that, generate some froth in there. We're trying to get a roll going, which will help break things up, and I think we've got a little bit of a roll there. Now, depending on the drink you want, once you have the amount of froth you want, if you lift the pitcher up so that the milk is above the air intake, it won't inject any more air. Now, I like my milk about 140 degrees. I really think it's got a nice sweet flavor there. And I feel that just as the pitcher's uncomfortable to hold, that lets me know I'm kind of right there, and that's where I'm at. So I'm going to stop. And you always want to wipe your wand off.
Yeah.
Keep these clean, and for best performance,
run some more steam through after you froth.
And after you've used this a few times, you're going to want to take it apart and clean it out, keep all those air intakes going. So we'll give this a little swirl.
What does that do?
A couple taps, just breaks up some of the larger air bubbles. So our espresso's over here all done, and we're going to pour Morgan a latte. You like maybe just a little bit of foam on top?
Yeah, like a little foam on top. Perfect. Thank you so much.
There we go. So that's how you make a latte on one of these guys. Again, it's the Gaggia Brera and the Saeco Pure.
And they're both available at wholelattelove.com.
All right, let's have our latte. Thanks for watching, guys.
Hey, why not subscribe now for easy free access to more videos on everything coffee, brought to you by wholelattelove.com.